AskReddit by Nichtwarum. Which word have you proudly mispronounced for the longest time? I used to say the phrase play it by ear, but in reality it was play it by ear, which makes a lot more sense. Hear me out, play it by ear. Like you put the idea up in the air. Play it by ear. Meme. Pronouncing it me. Had a manager who called any GIF or anything sent to the group chat a me. Loved him, best boss I've ever had, and I didn't have it in me to correct him. For my whole life I thought diaper had an M in it, damper. I still call it a damper. Side note, was playing Jack in the Box, I think it's called. Party Steam game you play with your phones, and I realized I've been wrong forever when my answer damper got made fun of horrendously. Just Jackbox. It's based on an older game called You Don't Know Jack. Instead of Play-Doh I just say potato clay. Croissant, it's like croissant. When I finally snap it'll be when someone pronounces niche as niche. Lingerie. Even though I learned the proper way to pronounce it when I was about 13, if I read it I still always read to rhyme the ling part with ring. Almighty told mighty. Well, in Hungarian bat is Denver and I mispronounced it for Devon for a lot of time. Worcestershire. Avocado. Still, it's nice to know a fruit will stand up for you. Irritable. I used to say lyrics as relics. GIF. IDK, but when I was a kid, helicopters were hoptocopters. I like that. And that's the only way I want to call them from now on. I used to drive Cabin Busto, CA. There is a street, Yosemite. I got bored with the correct pronunciation and made it rhyme with nose light. My oldest daughter used to say remember when she was 3 years old. I still say it today. I pronounced quinoa as quinoa for the longest time, in public. Armadillo. One of my online handles is Armadillo. When my crew plays Jack Gashes that's always my name to about the significant others. My husband pronounces condescending as condescending, and it drives me crazy. I've told him how it's pronounced a couple of times, but he still keeps saying it. I feel like I'm being condescending if I keep correcting him. Theater. It took me way too long to realize it's Alzheimer's and not old timers. Horse doovers. Yes, I am an animal. I'm only slightly more sophisticated than you. I knew it was fancy and called them Morse duvors. Key. To this day I still read it as spelt, which has gotten me odd lucks when I read it out loud. My family are very boaty, so it comes up more often than you would think. Jebus. Ever since Homer Simpson said Jebus abusibus getting electrocuted, I think, I fell in love with the word. I had never heard Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, pronounced, never been there, thousands of miles away, and had only seen it in print. I pronounced Barry like bar, Barry class anyone, instead of Barry. Worcestershire. This word is physically painful attempting to say. I don't do this anymore, but I used to pronounce it cetera, the abbreviation, not the full phrase, as eject. Comfortable. I always say comfortable when I know it's supposed to be comfortable. My family, especially my two youngest, say be a yogurt instead of mediocre because my daughter misheard a friend of my oldest son say mediocre as be a yogurt. Adhesive. My brain still cannot say it. GIF. When I was little I always mispronounced the word ball in Romanian. I called it ninja when in reality was Ming. Persephone. Not mispronounced but misspelled. I've been spelling English almost my whole life until I recently found out how to spell it. Confiscate should have an N in it. Not a mispronunciation per se, but I refer to all overalls as suspenders and all ovens as stoves. The whole English language. Mr. X's book. For years, my family has pronounced those things you use to look at far off objects as binoculars. That's all very well as a family joke, but when you actually say the word out in public by mistake, it's excruciating. It has to be said in a whinny voice as per Ad Edmondson in The Young Ones, when he wants to know why he can't use some real binoculars. Diplodocus. I like my pronunciation best, I'm not gonna change it. Diplodocus.